And I guess. I mean, yeah, he's in comics, so.
Oh, it's really fast.
Yeah. All right, it is 6:02, June 10th, 2024. Let's go ahead and call our regular business meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody. I have faces in here for a really nice June evening. Probably lots of places you'd rather be, but let's go ahead and start with roll call. Robert? Merle? Here. Kelsey? Here. Jenny? Here. Heidi? Here. Crystal? Here. And Chair's here, so we do have a quorum. And we will move on to the flag salute and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible. All right, has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? If so, I take a entertain a motion to move forward.
I'll move we accept the public agenda as presented. A second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
Was that a Jimmy? That was a Jimmy.
Hearing no other discussion, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, so our agenda will be as presented. Any public comments tonight? I didn't see anybody. So we will move along. To board spotlight or board communication. And our class of 2024 is going to be doing their commencement on Friday night. So you want to give us a little primer on stuff, Deanne?
Yeah. So it's at 7:30 at Rolling Hill. You guys all got an invitation to go. If you are planning on attending, if you could be there by 7:15, and there's a little cafe that we meet at. And I'll give you a massage or boutonniere, and then we will walk down and stand until the beginning of the ceremony, and then walk up on the stage before the class of 24 walk in. And so I just need to know who's all planning on attending, so I can make sure I get the right boutonnieres and shots.
I'll be there.
I'm totally.
Moment to you, so.
That Bill has presented last to you. I think, has anybody heard if Robert was gonna go or not?
I have not, but he is gonna try and meet it, so
Okay.
we'll try and connect. And maybe we can try and connect you to later in the meeting, so
Okay.
that way you know. I don't know, was that announced, everybody's coming?
Mhm.
So.
Yeah.
Dress.
Just appropriately, I mean, it's kind of a nice ceremony inside, out of the heat that we're gonna have outside. So, just appropriately, you are on stage, you are in front of everybody, and usually on the camera, same time. So.
No pressure.
Nope. And it is live streamed, so you can see it on our website. It's a really nice venue. Very nice.
About that.
Thanks, Deanna.
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah, will the board be involved in handing out diplomas?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I probably should have mentioned that, so.
Yeah. Kind of rotate through with the diplomas, handing them not the diploma, but the case. They'll also walk by you and you can shake hands or hugs or whatever you want to do. And then one of you will hand out the case, and you can always rotate through. That's usually what we like to do, is rotate to hand out diplomas.
And then every graduate will have the opportunity for a picture with their diploma being presented, so.
Thank you.
You'll have to get the stance right, so we're holding the, you know, the case.
So you're here and lots of pictures.
Yeah.
we have an X on the floor where the grad should stand, so.
Yeah, it's
The
pretty
hand
structured,
right
but it is.
last of the diploma case. I'll help you through it.
It's the best thing to do all year.
It is the best.
It is.
It's the best job.
Really are looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Mark, next to you.
But if you have any questions, you can call me. Or, you know,
Not yet.
Awesome, thank you, Dan.
you're welcome.
All right, we have some retirees we'd like to give just a little bit of shout out to. Garmina Cruz, I don't know if I hacked that. You wanna stand up?
And for the last time I discovered something. You can say Guillermo, Guillermina, it's easy. But have to say it.
Yeah.
Well, she's been with the district since 2004. She started in the preschool as an assistant in the preschool program. And then has been translating documents for us district-wide as of late. So we would like to thank her for her service.
And we also, it's not just a piece of paper, we actually have coming for you that you'll be presented with, so. Yeah. So, you can keep that, we can keep it, we have those type of keys, so. If you already have one, you know where. Congratulations.
Our next retiree is Teresa Mitzi. She has been with the intermediate school for 7 years. She's been a SPED instructional assistant, been helping us out some students who definitely benefit from her dedication and her help. So we would like to call her out. She's not here tonight, but I wish her well in her retirement. Next will be Tony Clementes. Been part of the North Marion family for 25 years. Done lots in the way of academic and emotional support. She's worked with some of our youngest learners to teach and reinforce reading, writing, and math skills. So again, we wish her well in her retirement. And last is Raphael. And for those of you who got to attend the assembly, it was a really, really good event. He was awarded the State Educational Support Professional of the Year. And with that came a $5,000 check from Morgan Lottery. And he had the director of ODE here, so it was a really, really good event. For those of you who don't know Raphael, he's sort of a pit bull in terms of getting after the kids and getting them across the finish line. And we will definitely, Dan could speak to that, we will miss him a lot. As well as coaching, he was instrumental in doing some really good coaching with our soccer team. So again, we wish him well and appreciate all of this. Go ahead.
Can I add one other thing? Is
Sure.
that ASB put together a Mr. Tonight's Day. And so make sure you guys talk about it, Peter.
Yeah.
That kind of went in perfectly with the assembly, even though some of the ASB members got upset with me because I hijacked their assembly. They did not know what was happening. But it was a great day.
Yeah, it was. A couple of us.
Yep, that was fantastic.
Yeah. All right, moving along to 2B Summer Board Conference, save the date, August 9th through the 11th, 2024. That's actually gonna be in Salem again, I believe. So we probably won't be, we'll just be commuting, which is just fine, but have you already booked spots for us?
No, I sent out a link that with your own OSBA account, you can book yourself, so I'd be happy to do it for you, Steve.
Okay, so make sure you connect. What did we need to connect with Robert for?
Who's
Oh.
coming to go?
Graduation. Are you planning on coming to graduation ceremony on Friday night? 7:30. 7:30.
Oh, yeah, it's right.
And be there by
7.
I can do it.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so Rolling Hills at 7, up right off 205.
Dress appropriately.
No pressure.
You'll be on him.
Not on the stage, on the camera. So,
I just had a scary. No scrubs.
All right, we wanted to call out the June as Pride Month. We also wanted to get a final report from Peter and Kelly about Or what's that? About,
Wrong one.
oh, sorry. I'm sorry, about ASB and the end of activities here, so
Yes.
go ahead.
I would love to. So first off, obviously it's ASB. And we are winding down, as Mr. Ness mentioned earlier, we did have a little client day to celebrate. We decorated his office before he came to school. Yeah, we got cups with his face on it, it's half Flags Day, and soul lemonade in it. It was a huge success, it was very nice to celebrate him. I know, we made a card for him, and
Yeah.
had passed on into the body, we had tons of signatures on it. Everyone was more than happy to celebrate, and it was a very sweet, very nice way of saying thank you.
We definitely appreciated all the signatures and all the
Yes, we
gifts
got a lot. We got a
and
lot.
all of it. For Key Club, they attended the Kiwanis meeting last week for more info about Relay for Life, which is happening on June 22nd, and held the last meeting last Thursday to celebrate a great year.
FBLA has finished for the year with Big Brother Big Sister being another big success with their pairing with Boswell's and Gordon Murray's class. And they've had many accomplishments such as earning the state champion chapter and national gold champion recognition. We're very proud of them. They're also, as I mentioned earlier, sending 6 seniors to nationals, and they need all the help they can get. All 6 of the seniors are very involved in the club and school, and they're very good students, very good kids. And if any of you guys like to support, they have a GoFundMe linked to their Instagram. But yeah, they're off to go represent North Marion down in Florida. It's very fun.
FFA have held their end of the year banquet and are celebrating another successful year in the books.
Metro also recently held their last meeting where they celebrated their seniors and passed out the course. A lot of last meetings, last banquets, end of the year.
NHS recently hosted their tapping ceremony for their new members and are continuing homework help for the freshmen.
Yes, and robotics have recently started meeting again, actually, to plan for next year's competitions.
And drama recently held a huge success of a show and are continuing to fundraise in hopes of seeing a live production.
National Art Honor Society recently awarded the primary and intermediate schools coloring sheet winners with Crumble cookie gift cards that were kindly provided by the PTO. And it was made extra special as those winners were then given a tour of our high school art classroom and got a chance to meet Ms. Bailey and art students and say hi to everyone.
Yep. Awesome recently aimed to uplift spirits by writing positive messages on bananas that are passed out for lunch. As well as gifting staff members emergency stress relief strips of bubble wrap for them to pop.
Yearbook is on a crunch mode with them and finalizing the pictures and all the yearbook designs. And they also like to remind everyone that if you have a yearbook or you want to pick up a yearbook from your past years in North Marion, they have a whole bunch of old past yearbooks they're trying to give out. So if anyone's interested, get in contact with Bailey.
And for prom, it was a huge success and a massive thanks to all that contributed.
Yes, that's all. That's the last of the year. Got it.
Thank you.
I do wanna chime in, I'm not sure if we said it or not, but Key Club came to our Aurora Community Cemetery. And we had a huge population of like, I think there was 25 students there that came in. Great, weren't you
One of them.
one of them? Okay. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much to Key Club, so I just wanna call that out because especially it was the morning of prom, so I was impressed.
Yes.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
What is the leadership transition?
Oh, well,
I will be Kelly's role as president next year, and then I don't know if you anyway know her, but Riley Wachter, she was a sophomore this year, she will be my VP next year. So we're very excited for that, yeah.
Excellent.
Congratulations. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
You're welcome to stay.
Spend your last.
All right, you and me, leadership there. It's like Darla.
Yeah, I'm not Matt.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Hi, I'm Jana Giles. I'm the licensed union president.
I am Darla Boswell. I am the primary school building rep.
This is our last time being on executive board, so next year you'll have Mark John here as president, to meet with you and present, or other representatives, hopefully it'll just be one person next time. But we'll start with some invitations. Tomorrow is presentations at the intermediate school. Third grade has been doing research and the students have made presentation boards. Sorry, it's the last minute, I should have emailed you sooner. But tomorrow during the day from 1:10 to about 2:50, if you guys wanted to come, it's in our cafeteria. The kids are practicing their presentations, it's very cute. So
Set at the primary.
Intermediate.
Intermediate.
And then on Thursday, our second grade classes are doing our performances of Rumpus in the Rainforest for our families. And we have one class is performing at 9:30. We have 3 classes at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then my class is at 2:30. And at that time, if Thursday doesn't work and you're still interested, we do have some dress rehearsals the next couple of days. And you can just come talk to me and I will let you know when those are.
All right, so like I said, this is the last presentation, so I wanted to tell you from me, I wanted to tell you who your new board is gonna be next year. So for president, we have Mark John at the middle school. We have Matt Dembski still staying as VP for one more year of his term. Sarah Bailey from the high school will be secretary. Justin Jacobs from the middle school will be grievance. Kara Renfro will be treasurer again next year from the high school. Our high school representative is gonna be Michael Stewart. Our middle school, we're gonna have co-reps. We have Ashley Reed and Dave Bommier. We have Rachel Camp doing the intermediate school building rep and Tiffany Golotz for the primary school. It's been a pleasure getting to speak to all of you every month. Thank you so much for working on that connection and communication that we have with our licensed staff and you as the school board. This year has been refreshing, so thank you for everything, and I'm excited for the opportunity for next year to have a new superintendent, so thanks for everything.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
So next up is our search update, after a really intensive few weeks and, lots and lots of work by many people. Go ahead and come on up. I'd like to introduce Dan Bush as our new superintendent for well, first you name. Really good enough to join us. He comes to us from Silver Falls. I don't know if you want to say a few words. You're welcome. You're welcome to. Go ahead. I don't want to speak for you, so.
Yeah, so sorry for the casual attire, but I thought the green would overcome any. Yes, all right. Thank you so much. So I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to be joining this team here. As I went through the process, you know, most of the time through, especially the first interview, is trying to kind of keep in my head about, you know, this being a good fit and trying to make sure that what I could bring is what you were looking for and not trying to kind of get too emotional about it and just stay in my head about making sure that this would come together. And being able to stay in my head in that way worked until I got with the students, the high school students, with Peter in that group, and they started asking me questions, and then touring around with the administrators and seeing their ownership over their buildings and how passionate they were. And then you just set the hook in my so I couldn't keep the emotions down anymore about getting excited, because I tried to keep the excitement down and just try to focus on, is this going to be the right fit? And from the Rumpus in the Rainforest that I got to see, and the little kindergartner who, as soon as I was done reading Pete the Cat, told me I was bald. It was just a really wonderful time on Thursday to be able to go, yeah, this is going to be a great fit, not just for, you know, what hopefully I can bring to the school district that's already doing so well, but then to really kind of fall in love with some of the people here. And I just really appreciate everybody's passion. And I'm ready to jump in and get started. I'm meeting with the administrative team on Wednesday, coming out here on Wednesday, spend a little bit of time with them, and ready to jump in and get started July 1. So I'm just I'm just very thankful for the confidence you have in me and in reaching your decision. And I'm just looking forward to getting started.
Great, thank you. We're excited to have you. I mean, you really did check a lot of boxes for us. I think you have a ton of confidence from the board and you interacted exceptionally well with our staff. There was just lots of really good things. And we really appreciate you coming and joining our team and putting your faith in us.
Yeah, great.
So I'm kind of a historian, so maybe,
Okay.
You and Sandra could stand on the board and then.
Good spot.
Maybe they could stand up and you can stand in front. Would that work?
We'll try. Yeah.
We'll try.
They usually make the little guy get.
Help it out.
Stretch out my knees.
We'll get back there.
Don't worry about it, you know, I used to pump gas. And I come running out there, I always wanted to.
I know how you-
Register.
Okay.
And I'd peek over the windshield and those big loggers would look at me and they'd say, get up off your knees, boy.
Okay, find a place to land to get in between there.
That is.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, smile. All right, got you. And while we're here, Yamina, we should get a photo with you at the.
Yeah,
as well.
Absolutely. Yes.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yes, please, sweet. There you go.
Okay, 1, 2. Uno, dos, tres. Got it, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
My 50-year-old let me know when I was counting that.
I'm never really counting, I'm not taking pictures.
President will phone down here and just snap. The only last thing I'll say is in my presentation, I did say be like Bill, but my photography skills are gonna need a lot. To be like Bill. That's the one thing I did not highlight in that presentation. Yeah. Got a lot of work there.
So I would like to give a call out. There was a lot of people who were part of the selection process, so our selection committee, the staff who graciously took the time to be able to do
Oh, yeah.
the tours in your buildings. And to accommodate, touring both of them around, the staff who interacted with the board, in making recommendations and in really guiding the board, because we don't know everything. And they're, you know what I mean, everybody's input is really critical. And the forum, we had great engagement, and so I would thank everybody who came out, who filled out the survey, who really engaged in the process. And we are really excited to go. So, yep. To that end, I would like to, I'm not doing this, but I would like to thank Bill from the board and me personally too, for what he has done here. He has an enormous stamp that he's put on this district, and I think it's evident in staff presentations, in interactions with teachers and everybody, food service, maintenance people. You can walk through the building and everybody knows. You know everybody's name as you're walking through, including students, which is really, really important. And so I'm not sure what the future holds for you, but we would definitely wish you the best. And we would like to thank you for the years that you put here and for all of the great things you've done. So yeah.
So, if you can't take it, it's been an honor, it's been a pleasure, it's been a lot of fun, to be able to serve the school district. And, as many of you know, I've deep roots, but roots from Woodburn that, and just a lot of connections, and it's been really nice to be here and reconnect with folks from North Marion that I've known for many years, and to meet all the new friends and such too. So I appreciate the way everyone has treated me and the opportunity to work here and serve you. So thank you very much.
You'll be sorely missed, so much appreciated. Alrighty, moving along, our consent agenda, item number 3, if everybody's had a chance to look at that, it's a pretty full file, but I would entertain a motion to move that forward.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda or approve the consent agenda as presented. I'll second.
I have a motion, a second, any discussion?
I have one question, more curiosity than contention, but I noticed there were 2 hires for social studies high school and 1 resignation. Again. There,
One resigned earlier in the year. One resigned earlier this year also,
oh,
so 2 total.
so it showed up on the earlier, so this filled positions, that explains it, thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the motion carries. All right, moving along to district operations report, business and budget appropriations. Linda, are you joining us from?
I'm here, yes. So everything came in about where we expected. I don't know if you've had time to look over the reports that I sent, but our ending fund balance is looking at about 2.8, and I have in the budget 2.85. So we're within 50,000. We did get another estimate for 24-25, which is next year, and it did change it slightly, but only by $5,000, a loss to us of 5,000. And that's just part of the funding ratio and everybody else moving around. So we're looking on track. Any questions for me?
I have one question. There's a term there on the spreadsheet that says adopted transfer. Can you explain that to me?
Oh, on the revenue and expense, we had, I'm not sure if you're looking at the other funds or the general fund, Merle, but sometimes between funds you move money. So we had Senate Bill 1149 monies that were for energy efficient projects that needed to be moved into the construction to finish up that grant. And that was one of them. And then there was also a small one, but we did not transfer the money between Fund 100 and 101. And that only transfers if the budgeted ending fund balance is higher than I had budgeted, and it was not.
Over my head, but maybe I can get with you later and better understand.
Sure.
One other question I had, I noticed interest on investments with a negative number. Minus $100,000. That's on the general fund revenue and expenditures. The estimate, I guess, actually not actual. It's negative there.
In June, so all through the year, we put all of our interest into the general fund. And then we make an adjustment at the end of the fund, at the end of the year, so that any other funds with fund balances on a monthly basis get a portion of that interest. So some of that interest, as it's accumulating, is going to end up going to other grant funds. I believe that's the line you're talking about. I'm not looking at it right now.
So it's really just an adjusting entry.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Linda.
Yep, thank you.
All right, moving to 4B, our teaching and learning update. Is that gonna be Sorry? No?
Summer,
Oh.
No, okay.
So that's,
I know, right?
I'm just kidding.
You need me to do, this is just
Yeah.
really brief, right? Okay, so yeah, we're excited. We received from the state one of the summer learning grants. It only went to about Linda, 75? Is that right?
Say that again?
How many
300
districts?
Three
How many
seventy,
districts?
oh,
How many districts received funds?
I think 75 or 77, yeah.
That was my thought too. So we were one of those districts that because of just our population and the fact that we have had summer programs in the past, we received $378,000. And so we have 3 programs that are underway that will be funded with us this next year. We're really excited about. The primary school will be hosting about 75 kiddos. The intermediate school is having 80, correct? 75, maybe? And then the middle school, we're shooting for 100 for the middle school program. And they'll be 4 weeks long. Part of the requirements is 80 hours of material and curriculum that the kids will get to participate in. And the focus is really, like the title says, connecting joy and curiosity and making sure kids have an opportunity to learn, but also just be social and be together and get out of the house. And so we're really excited about the plans that are going in place and all the kids will be able to serve this summer.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Any questions?
Yeah. Is this like an invitation only, or is this like first come, first serve, or
Of
how?
course, first come, first served, we sent it out to all families,
Okay.
and then we gave specific invites to kids who maybe could use the additional intervention to help with summer slide. But it was available to any kid who wanted to participate until we hit our caps.
Okay.
Cause as much as $378,000 sounds, it doesn't go very far when you're serving a lot of kids. So once we hit our caps.
Okay.
Are the students learning all of the core subjects, or are they kind of picking and choosing what they really need?
It's more a combo of picking and choosing for like math and English in particular, making sure we're working on reading and math skills. And then pairing that with high interest topics. So both the primary and the intermediate school are focusing on kind of some STEM topics. The primary school is going to be doing like a Lego STEM program, and the intermediate school is focusing on kind of Pacific Northwest social studies, meet science and ecology, and working with the Malala Forestry Center. And then the middle school is STEM on top of that.
With core subjects, also outside, we're doing a little bit of outdoor education. And then also some choice with some STEM, so kind of like bunch of different things.
And we're also blending it in school, the flora, fauna, geology, hydrology of the Pacific Northwest together with the native, the indigenous stories and part of it. So kind of really pulling some great back as well.
So finding those ways to help kids shore up core competencies through highly engaging materials.
That's great.
Awesome, thank you. Moving along to, we have an nutrition services report. Lori would like to join us.
Good evening. Okay. So, I'm happy to report that, this year we did all of our hard work, for getting us qualified for CEP for next school year. CEP is the community eligibility provision, which allows all children to eat for free. So, starting next year, breakfast and lunch will be, no charge to all students. We are on a 4-year, federal agreement right now. Will run until 27-28. It will be district-wide for all schools. And I'm super excited about it. I'm really excited about it. It will help so many families. It will take the stigmas off of kids. And just allow people, the kids to come in and, enjoy themselves. So we're looking forward to that. And this was, in case you wanted to know, this was from the USDA level. They lowered the threshold for qualifying for direct certifications is how this is happening, to 40%. And then they said the states can lower it further if they want to, compensate that difference. So the state of Oregon lowered it down to 25%. This year, they also allowed Medicaid children to qualify as direct cert. Medicaid is any Oregon funded insurance. And so we have a lot of kiddos on Medicaid, which put our numbers pretty high. So that's where we were able to qualify with that. Any questions?
I have a question, with end of year coming up for the students that have in their lunch accounts or whatever, if they have a positive balance, what happens with that? Does it just stay there until the 5 years?
So, no, so we're working on that right now, and it's a lot of work between, me and with Linda and ODE. If getting the money back to the families, we want to get money back to the families that have, balances in their accounts. It's just, how do we do it? What's the right way? So we're working out a plan, and as soon as we have that, we're gonna notify families and get the money back to them.
What about for students that have a negative balance?
Negative balances also have to have a plan in place.
Is there talk about maybe giving families that have a surplus the option to
We are.
donate?
Donate. So one of their options will be, would you like to donate this to help pay the negative balance fund down? Because we do have a high negative balance fund. So that also requires, all of it requires a plan when you join into the CEP, and it has to be approved and thought out. And, Linda doesn't want to have 1,800 checks out there waiting to clear for, refund balances and stuff like that. So it takes a big, a plan to make sure that we're gonna do that correctly.
Great. Thanks for answering questions.
Any other questions? Yeah. Then I'll move forward for the wellness training, assessment that's due once every 3 years. It's a simple report, that checks in to make sure that we're following the school wellness policy. So I included that as well. And it will be posted to, our website. And then lastly would be, any questions on that? No. And then lastly will be our summer meals in the park for this year. That will start on the 24th of June and run through the 16th of August. We've scaled down this year to 2 locations, which will be at Rivinus and Chateau Mobile Park. We will be there on Mondays and Thursdays to provide hot lunches, but then we'll also be passing out non-congregate food meals again for 7 days a week. So they will have that opportunity to have meals for all 7 days. And then in addition to that, we'll pick up the summer school here the end of July and feed those kids here from July to the end of August.
Chile, that's on 99.
99 on Carl Road.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's our last.
So there's no plans for dogs this year then?
There's not. Donald was has been our lowest location for the last 3 years. And so we decided to try to put it all together at Rivinus. And hope that we can get everybody to come visit us over there.
Well, the fountains work. So.
Any other questions?
Thanks for all your hard work on those projects.
Yeah, thanks for doing all that. Hard work.
All right, next up is Dr. Rhodes with the superintendent report.
All right, Linda, are you driving? Let's see, is that the? That's the PDF. Do you have access to the?
I didn't see the PowerPoint, but I think I have this set how you want it. I think it'll go page by page. Will that work for you or not? Is there more?
All right, we'll go with it.
All right. I didn't get an email with it, so.
Sticking with the notion of, not missing an opportunity to talk about your mission and vision. just some great examples. Last few weeks to be out and about. Our students and staff and families. And it really is amazing the experiences that our staff and families are creating for students. So certainly those of you who were there on Wednesday had a chance to see Raphael receive his award. It was pretty neat that the kids had already established a Pilates day. And so we were able to just take advantage of that when the Department of Ed called us and said, how can we get them together? We have a plan. So, it was really nice, but ultimately the kids didn't know, Raphael didn't, no one knew what was, what the real big part of that assembly was going to be. So it was really nice and a great tribute and a great example of our mission and vision. And some of you may know that picture down in the corner, Callie Cuthbert, a state champion in 1500 in track and field at the state meet. I didn't see it, but it was a classic. It was running down someone in the last 100 meters of the race, coming from behind to do that. So it was pretty neat, pretty dramatic. And you may or may not know they compete at Hayward Field. So what a beautiful place for the kids to get to enjoy and compete down there. So, and she finished second in the 800 as well. So she had a great weekend.
And she's a freshman.
You get to go to all of them, and then there's the kindergarten program. And again, another fantastic event. I think my favorite thing is Kimberly does a great job of the two pictures down at the bottom. You see there has to be the wave. So all the kindergartners get a chance to wave out to their parents. And the parents all get a chance to wave back again. And then we go do the business of having a music program. But it's pretty cute and it's pretty fun to see that excitement. And great job by our kindergarten teachers and Mr. Clutter on the guitar, doing a little accompaniment during that program. So, you never know where the talent lies in the So great participation. Our senior awards was a lovely event. You can see just an outstanding group of seniors and the awards that they were given were very impressive. And it's a nice event because there are so many community organizations who are actually giving out scholarships and awards and those types of things. So it really is a community-oriented event. Down in the bottom right was the 8th grade awards ceremony. So there was a tremendous crowd over at the middle school last week for our 8th grade awards ceremony too. So again, just great participation from the community. In terms of working with students and seeing them get those awards. Proud kids and proud families is really fun to see. A really nice event was the 6th grade. What did you call it? The 6th grade fly up or something like that? That 6th grade. But the middle school did a fantastic job of decorating the gym and having all kinds of partners and staff and support staff from the middle school. So the 6th graders and their parents could come visit for the evening. And they rotated through tours and some presentations in the library. And then just the theme that you see in the gym where there were so many stations and booths where they could go meet staff and partners and resources. You see Mr. Owens down there with some of our friends from the Hubbard Police Department who were there as well. And I might add that, and maybe Wes, you could comment on this too. Wes and Chief Greasy have really developed, a relationship, and we've really started to make some connections with our friends at the Hubbard Police Department, and they're really working on having a presence at some of these events, but a great connection. And Wes, go ahead.
The Hubbard Police Department and Chief Greasy have been just amazing. A wonderful man in his department. And they have already been out. They were at the primary school, they've been at the middle school, the high school, they've just been supporting us, you know, when we need it and when we don't, just being here and being around kids and doing great community outreach. So we just really appreciate that partnership with the police department.
So, yeah, I'm excited to Wes and, you know, and his ability to reach out and build those relationships too. And you heard the kids talking about the FFA banquet, which is always just a really, really nice event. And the kids, you know, play a large role in the presentation and the leadership of that. So some outstanding opportunities to see the leadership development in that FFA. So they get to say goodbye to some students who have been serving for a long time, and then welcome many of the new members in it. And this is probably all because Darla, you've been probably teaching these kids how to code for years in the second grade, but you know, we've had some opportunities to see some of the coding and robot coding that kids are doing over at the intermediate school. And just really proud. And you can sit there and talk with them about, you know, about how they're talking to these robots and getting them to do what they do. But you're starting to really see that articulation of kids starting very early on, getting involved in that STEAM and that kind of technology, and how it's starting to play in the middle school and the high school. And a wonderful family night, a culminating family night for our ELD and migrant families. Just kind of a lovely vision of parents and families producing beautiful art with their students that night. And then my favorite though was the parents, you know, actually having to play this little game, you know, where you guys maybe have done it before. They roll the dice and they're trying to unwrap a package. You know, if they roll a 6, then the next person gets to go and they have to try to unwrap this package at the end. And parents get pretty competitive about that. Our sports season's wrapping up at the end, and district tennis, you know, our softball team had a great finish to their season. The baseball team made it to the semifinals, and folks have heard didn't quite get past the semis and into that final game, but just had a fantastic season. So there's lots of activities going on in the last couple of weeks, wrapping those things up. And really, you see the seniors, you know, realizing that they're having some of their last events and things like that. And so, you know, it's always tough and heartwarming at the same time that they felt invested in that. And if you happen to do a 5th grade promotion concert, you gotta go sometime, because that is quite a show. And this was just Thursday night? Yeah, Thursday night was our 5th grade promotion. You know, it's gotten really, really big, and they made a great move this year. They had it at the middle school because the high school doesn't have air conditioning. And it was a warm night, and folks were really appreciative. Again, you can see the crowd, you know, you can just see how many of our community members and families are coming out and being involved in that. And Val, who's there with her husband and one of our teachers, Rachel, over at the intermediate school, they just have a fantastic show, and those kids just keep moving. Honestly, once Val starts, once the music starts, it doesn't stop. For 30 minutes, the kids just keep moving, they move to their next station, but it never stops. They never stop and introduce a song or anything. It just keeps moving, and it's just amazing. You know, those 5th grade students know exactly how to go and get themselves organized and move from one place to another, and how well rehearsed and disciplined they are about doing that. So that was it's a really nice event and a nice show. And thanks, Stacy, for sharing your space and sharing the gym. I think there was something else going on over the middle school. All right. And I just, we had the high school music concert, it's gonna have to, I'll share the photos, with Dan, so he can open, with the high school music concert that happened Friday night as well, but they did a beautiful job in their culminating performances too. Some things that I do want to share. Last month, I talked about some updates that we were doing to the strategic plan. We didn't include the whole kind of scorecard sheet. We showed the highlight sheet, and then linked in is the actual full report. So we updated with support from staff that were involved, our administrative team, as we kind of reviewed and updated progress towards those measures that were adopted. We do have the unscientific, red, yellow, green, red, yellow, green indicator. And so around goal 1, we definitely felt that we had made progress. We still got some work to do. I can't tell if I can get the team to commit to an all green because there's always something left to do. There's always something left to do. But felt like there was good progress, and those are included in that report. In goal 2, and again, which is the end of the second year of a 3-year plan. We also felt that we were nearing the completion of those measures, and then a couple other slides I'd like to say, yeah, we were complete enough that we had to update the measures to go into year 3. In goal 3, we felt like we had made progress, but it was also, you can tell just by this summary, that's the goal that we feel like we really need to put some more energy into. I think a little bit more about that, and that has to do with our really preparing our staff for also the responsive practices and that work, and continuing to look at our human resource, our hiring practices, our recruitment, retention, and hiring practices to really be able to support students in the North Marion community. So those were the updates. In essence, our scorecards in terms of how we're moving forward there. The next 3 slides were slides that are updates from the slides that we looked at last week. And so again, our principals and staff and cabinet staff have reviewed those. And what you see here are the draft markups. In green on these sheets, highlighted in green, are where we've made changes and updates from where the performance indicators and measures were before. So there are clearly some updates to make based on things that we have operationalized and things that we know we will be doing next year in order to further support that particular goal or performance indicator. So you have that for goal 1 and for goal 2 and for goal 3. And so you can see that goal 1 and 2, because they had high completion rates, also have more updating to do. There's more shaded green. When you get to goal 3, the teams felt like there was still a lot of work to do in some of the performance indicators and measures that are currently in place. So you don't see as much update on that particular goal. And you'll have all these, you'll have access to these here. So I would probably just ask you, I know you're gonna dig deeply into things, but if there were any questions just about the process we used, or what those documents might represent, feel free to ask.
Like now?
No, I'm just, what I was referring to was the process, not necessarily a deep dive into the content, but I just want to make sure everyone knows what you have your hands on there. Start to look at. All right, A couple other things and, kind of trying to think about legislative changes that are impacting and influence the work that the district will be doing next year. Just a reminder that there are some changes coming to Title IX guidance, to the federal guidance coming around Title IX. So I've, linked you into this document. It's kind of this notion, everything the superintendent needs to know about the changes coming to Title IX. And, without going into great detail, I think one of the things that is really clear is that there are staff who are going to have to participate in some trainings very early on so that we really do understand those changes and how those changes play out in a school district. You'll be seeing policies coming from OSBA with those updates as well. But I think the important thing is there's training coming for your staff that would be most on the front line in terms of Title IX. And then Cheryl's not able to be here tonight, but she's our Title I coordinator for the district. And so she knows that she has some training coming and a little bit of research to do. The ESD is committed to doing some work with us as this guidance becomes a little bit, and some trainings will be available through the ESD to help really get us on the right page. There are some things about the breadth of the breadth of K-12 schools. There's a little more off-campus commitment that we have to watch what types of things are going off campus that may be coming into school regarding Title IX. There are some changes in the complaint procedure. Hopefully a little bit, Oregon and feds have slightly different language around Title IX, particularly around harassment and such, and they're trying to bring those into alignment so that we don't have to run two separate investigations if we get a complaint in those areas. And then, we just have to line up our processes to align. So looking forward to it in some ways, because some of the definitions are broader, there probably will be more work to do in that than we've been doing. Hospital 2166 also led to the state adoption of standards for social and emotional learning and requiring districts to, by July 21st or July 2024, actually having social and emotional learning standards in the district. Cheryl's also been working with that, and she has been meeting with the team, the district team, over the past couple of months, and they've been working on doing crosswalks between the standards from the state and what we're already doing in the school. Cheryl feels pretty confident, that because of the team and that alignment, that we're in pretty good shape, that will be some ongoing work over the course of next year. And we talked about this before, but it's getting closer and closer. By the end of next year, to begin 2025, fall of 2025, there will be a board appointed district equity advisory committee. This particular guidance, this is a pretty big, thick guidance document that talks about the how-to manual, of going through and preparing that and working with that. Irma's been looking at that and studying that with some other districts. And so there will need to be a process put in place for that committee to actually be developed. And okay, because it's already in the strategic plan, to actually, for the district to have an equity plan in place as well. So that is some work that's coming in. We're just kind of foreshadowing that some of the legislation is, starting to roll out for the timelines. And that's it. Aren't you lucky? I'm finally. So I didn't know if there were any questions about some of those projects coming forward. But we're trying to make sure that they're on our radar. All right.
No, I mean, I do have questions around how we're gonna address our chronic absenteeism and our K-12 reading ELA. But I assume that that'll be a side conversation regarding that within the strategic plan, where that lies.
Yeah. Just to that point, Crystal, and we just had this conversation this morning, after my travels with principals and doing some of that work, especially after the one-on-ones. We all, and you can see it's on the board over at the high school right now, it says transition. Attendance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and culturally responsive work, because they're all related. And we had that conversation of, does the attendance land in some of this higher level, or is the attendance all part of the individual building series of action, in that strategic plan? So
from my perspective, the fact that, I've done a lot of research on it, it's definitely a board focus, I would say, from my perspective.
Right.
For me, as a board member.
That's what I'm saying, though, it will be, action. You know what I mean, at each building, and then it's sort of that notion of where, you know what I mean? You do have to think about those other things when you're trying to think about all the different strategies for getting kids to attend. So those things are draft, but I just want you to know that's not lost. That notion of attendance and chronic absenteeism is actually one of the big three that we talked about. Each of the things.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving along, item number 5, we need to have the opportunity for a budget hearing. So I will go ahead and that will be within our meeting, but this will be a separate opportunity. So if we have members of the audience who want to provide testimony on the budget, now is the time to do that. Hearing that, we'll move along. So let's go ahead and close that budget hearing, and then we'll move to our board action items. First step is to adopt the budget for 24-25. And I would motion to move forward with that.
We do all three or one at a time?
I know, Diane, do you want to know? You probably want to second.
Are we on the third? Yeah, sorry.
7, 8.
Actually, it's 2 motions. I just not hard to do 3, but you wanna do the chime in? Linda?
You're muted.
I'm not muted, but I can't really hear what people are saying.
Hey, Linda, it's Crystal. Do you
Yeah.
want these resolutions separate or all together? Cause I have
The
3 resolutions.
You can read the first 2, the adopting and making appropriations can be together, but the taxes should be separate.
Okay. I will make a motion that we accept and adopt the resolution to adoption, the approved budget for fiscal year 2024-2025, and the resolution for making budget appropriations 2024-2025. We're gonna go through that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Do you have a specific script for?
It's in there.
I don't have a link.
It might be on the live now, but
So the imposing the tax is here on the screen, and I just want to mention that they want those taxes opposed with the budget committee, which we did in May. But we also like to do it again in June because when you read the budget law, it's a little bit confusing and I just want to be covered for my auditors that I've done it at both places, so we have no questions.
I can read that there.
Can you blow that? Yes. Big enough.
Okay, be it resolved that the Budget Committee of the North Marion School District number 15 hereby imposes the taxes provided for in the approved budget at the rate of 3.3333 per 1,000 of assessed value for operation in the amount of 2,314,173 for bonds, and that these taxes are hereby imposed and categorized for the tax year 24-25 upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the district.
I'll second.
Motion a second, is there any discussion? Now we'll move to a vote, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, next up, we have.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Linda. Thanks for all your work on that.
Next, we have approval of the new superintendent for your contract. I would like to thank Heidi and Jenny for doing a lot of work this weekend. It was a lot. It was a lot of legwork, so I appreciate all that going forward. I don't know, do you guys have anything you want to say about that process or?
I'll be happy that somebody can do it next time.
Yes.
No, I think we both ended up someplace where we feel very good about what we reached and that it's a win-win for everybody, hopefully, and. Yeah, thank you. I'll make the motion, can
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the ambitious 3-year contract 24-27 as presented. Does that work for you? Diane?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Welcome aboard. All right, 7C, we have a recommendation from Superintendent Rhodes to policy updates, section D through KL.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll let you go first.
I was just gonna say, you know, it wouldn't be any fun if we didn't have this come up again. You know, over the course of the year.
Did you put this on there just for comic relief?
I put it on here for the record that these policies have been vetted by OSBA. Remember, it's OSBA's legal and policy arm that actually vets the policies and moves those forward. It's not, you know, it's not the same as the others. It's their legal and policy arm that vets these policies. And Elizabeth, your counsel, said make sure the board knows that it's not all the same group, that there's a legal in the area of policy. And then after OSBA made their recommendations, that district staff, you know, in appropriate areas have vetted the policies. And the recommendations that are before the board are the updates after district staff have vetted those policies. So we want to make sure that the board knows and the superintendent knows that there is a set of updated policies vetted by OSBA, vetted by district staff, that that Diane and others will have that will have copies. And so, you know, I didn't have any delusions of grandeur that the board might adopt this policy tonight, but definitely want the board to know, you know, that we have completed that work and that there are copies available.
So I'll make a motion that we postpone this till September as the previous board meetings so that the board can be involved with the policy work.
I second.
Can I ask a question?
Have a motion a second, but go ahead with discussion.
So when you postpone something, that does not allow you to vote on it for first reading only. You're just postponing the whole thing.
Any more discussion?
Just that we'd have extensive conversation about the board being involved in the policy work. The board's been seeing the policies and we have seen the markups, but we weren't actually like, when we had questions, we weren't able to really have that work session discussion that I personally was looking at. And I appreciate all the work that OSBA and our district has done. I just think the board should have had more input and insight in that process. So that's fine.
Any other discussion?
I think too, that that's what we're looking for, just an opportunity to review some of the ones where there are questions together. And I don't know what others have done, but I did submit to superintendent on the first section. And I think I feel like I've been distracted now this last 30 days or so, and I've lost traction on that project, but I would like at least to go over that. It's just my thoughts on it. There are a few where there are bracketed choices to be made, and I'm starting to better see, as superintendent helps me see, that we could just approve these and then go back and pull out 3 here or 1 here or 4 here, and we could, yeah, but the idea too, we should do it the other way around. We should just wade through them and take the time, and it is. I'm all for lobbying the legislature to do something about these 476 policies that we have to live by. And who knows what they say, much less able to follow them. And they're proposing much more according to OSBA. Look out for next year, because look, I don't get it. I think we'll sink before we swim.
Any more discussion? So just to re-clarify, the motion before us is to postpone. Postpone these policies going forward to September. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nay. All right, moving along to. That's just about it. Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Just so you guys know, we have an invite meeting tomorrow for our senior walk.
Oh, that's right.
So we have our senior assembly. At 1 o'clock, and then after that, we will get them into their cap and gowns and start to walk close to 2. And then we'll start the primary building, then the intermediate, the middle school, and then back to the high school, and then they go. Next. The walk around 2. How long is it? 15 minutes. Pretty quick.
So protocols for getting into like primary or the intermediate, just check in as a visitor.
Normally, we'd like you to be outside when we cross the streets. and
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
That way, we're not interfering with all the kids in the hallway.
Okay.
But yes, please come, it's a unique experience because we are all right here. And Bill and I will be leading.
Alrighty, anything else that needs to come before us? If not, we will go ahead and adjourn at 7:15. No, what do you think? It's already done.